Hey everybody, Kyle Rine here, PDGA number 54095, and I'm here to show you what's in my bag. It's getting cold out in North Carolina, which is hard to believe, right? But um, it's time for winter. Here's what's in my bag. I want to start off with just saying that I just got this Ergo 2 for Christmas. I love it. It's probably the most comfortable bag I've ever carried in my life, and I can't see myself carrying anything else. I love these custom colors, and that's the bag. Here's what's in it. Let's start off. Metal Mini from the USDGC. I'm the captain of the Winthrop Disc Golf Team there at Winthrop University, so proud to say we've got Winthrop Gold in my backyard. Um, it's always been fun. And now here are the putters. I putt with two D-line P2s from Discmania. Pretty much all my discs are Discmania except for a couple oddballs, which I'll point out, but love their plastic, love their discs, and just the company in general. Thank you guys for some great discs. Um, these P2s are beadless. They're the first beadless putter I've ever used, but you definitely get a lot of glide without sacrificing any stability, which is nice. For a push putter, definitely goes in the chains, finds the chains often. I also carry two more D-line P2s as throwers. This white one's been in the bag a little longer. Expect to get a little bit of turn out of it. I'll use this for shots up to 250 feet. I'm not really a big arm thrower by any means. I'd rather control a slower disc to hit my lines than beefing up to a driver. And I don't necessarily have the arms for the bigger drivers. So P2, another P2. This one's a little bit more stable. I can trust this one to finish. Even in a headwind, it'll go nice and straight for me. And last but not least, an S-Line P2. Happened to get this signed by all the Discmania guys and Paul Macbeth this past USDGC. So keep it in the bag really for good luck, but I'll throw it now and on occasion. Whenever I don't want to beat up that orange D-line P2 too much, or if it's in the woods, I'll throw this one because it's always nice and stable off the tee for me. So great disc, another P2. And one of the oddballs is this Champion Gator from Innova. Consistent, zero glide, overstable. I really use this to get out of trouble. I'm a lefty, so I'll need to use those lefty forehands time and time again, or even forehand rollers or huge spike hyzers. This disc really does it all. It's the Champion Gator. Now on to mid-ranges. The mid-range shots are a big part of my game, and so I carry 5 mids, starting off with the Millennium QMS. I'd compare it to a beat-up rock right out of the box. This is what I call my righty disc. If I need something to start straight and then tail off to the left like a righty hyzer, this is what I go to, especially in the woods. It's really controllable, and I can hit those understable lines with this disc. Next is the C-Line MD from Discmania. It's nice and straight for me. This one's got a nice pop top, so it can really take some heat. It's max weight, 180 grams, holds up in the wind. But if I need something for a little bit straighter shots or something I want to finish right, I'll step up to the MD1. These are a little bit more stable than the MD, really controllable. These are my rocks, my controllable mid-range disc. And I carry one that's max weight, 180 grams, and then a lighter weight one, 169, that is just further for me, goes straighter for longer, and I can still trust it to hyzer out at the end. This one's for more hyzer shots the entire flight. I can throw it on a hyzer and trust that it'll hold that line. Last but not least, I carry a Glow MD3 from Discmania. This one doesn't get a lot of use, just because I feel like I have a lot of shots with those 4 mid-ranges right there, but on further shots than the MD1, I'll pull out the MD3 because it glides out a little bit longer, get a little bit more distance out of it, and still has that same overstability and reliability. And it looks awesome. I love this Party Time Big Discmania stamp. So, yeah. Fairway drivers. Carry 2 molds. Starting off with the FD3. This has replaced my Firebird. I felt like with a Firebird, yes, it's consistently overstable. However, for weaker arms, I can't get that distance out of it that I need. It would just dump out before it could go anywhere. And so this disc has more glide. It's got a slight dome. I'll use this for anything within 300 feet for hyzers, huge spike hyzers, even forehands, just because I can get a little bit more glide out of this one. This is a really good utility disc. Definitely pick up an FD3. Complements a Firebird really well. Gets all your overstable shots. And now for my favorite disc in the bag, the Discmania FD. This is my favorite mold of all time, just from how controllable it is and how many lines you can hit. I carry 3 of them, all different stages of wear, different runs, and let me talk about them. I'm going to start off with my understable FD. This is a G-line FD. Flies understable, hyzer flip to turn. I can definitely hit a lot of touchy lines with this. Power down, it'll go dead straight. And so this is a really good shot to have. And these next 2 FDs are second runs. They're more stable, definitely can take some stank behind them without turning over, and will always finish for me. They're nice and overstable. They're 167s, so they're a little bit more controllable for me. I'd rather throw a more controlled shot rather than having something hyzer off. But these are nice and overstable. This orange one's a little straighter. This yellow one, even though it's lighter for some reason, is pretty overstable. Will hold a hyzer the whole way. So great complementing fairway drivers. Lastly, onto the distance drivers. Now, I don't carry anything too fast. I'd rather control something, get something with my arm speed rather than torquing over a high-speed driver. Starting off with understable, I carry a TD, an S-line TD. This is for my understable shots. I know this is going to turn over on me. Hits huge anhyzer lines, hyzer flip to flat. For me, it's a longer FD. I can hit longer, straighter shots. I'll use this for distant shots in the woods. Just really controllable and a nice understable disc to have. And now, in my opinion, the most controllable distance driver on the market is the Discmania PD. Carry it in 3 different plastics, 3 different variations of wear, and these really hit all the shots, starting with the C-line PD. I'm not sure which run it is, but it's nice and straight for me now. This was pretty overstable when I got it. This is beat in to be a more controllable driver. If you're sensing a theme in my bag, I'd rather throw pretty neutral shots and rely on angles to hit them all. So this PD will go nice and straight, fade out. I can probably get up to 360, 375 on a good pull. Like I said, I'm not a big distance thrower, so this really helps me get these consistent 350 shots that I need to stay in the fairway. Now this P-line PD, a little straighter than the C-line. This one will flip up flat for me, track a little bit to the left, then come back. I can rely on it for lower hyzer flips, whereas the C-Line PD would fade out too soon. So this one's nice and straight for me. Now I carry a really lightweight 151 gram S-Line first run PD. This is for, I'd say, trick shots. I know Simon Lizotte carries a DD2 for trick shots. I'd hit those same lines with this disc. Just huge anhyzer bombs to get over things, maybe max distance flex shots, hyzer flips, huge turnovers. There's really a lot you can do with this disc. Even though it's so light, it really holds up well in the wind for the overstability of the mold. But this is just a fun disc to have. A lot of great shots were done with this disc, so I'm really happy to have it. And last but not least, carry a C-Line PD2. This is the overstable distance driver from the Discmania lineup, and it's a first run. The newer runs are way too much disc for my arm. This one I can get a little bit more control out of, a little bit more glide before it just decides to dump out on me. But this disc really I use for hyzers, huge spike hyzers, shots that I need to finish to the right, and you can trust this disc really in any headwind. It's hyzering out no matter what. This disc can take anything you give it. And while I don't have the arm to get it to perform up to its flight characteristics, it's a great overstable driver, really consistent for me, and I love having it in the bag. I wouldn't play around without it. PD2. So that's what's in my bag. I don't carry all that too many molds. Just it is what it is. I'd rather stick to what I know what I throw, and throw Discmania. So thanks for watching, guys, and take care. Have a good New Year.